Subscribe to Film Companion for your film fix. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.
I have become a producer to be able to take certain calls, as someone who can take those calls and not being called an intrusive actor. I didn't feel the need to be called an insider to feel that I belong. I am an belonged outsider.
Hi Taapsee, welcome to Spill the Tea. You're promoting Annabelle Sethupathi with Vijay Sethupathi. So I have to start by asking you, எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
இப்படி இருக்கிறீங்க நல்லா நல்லா இருக்கேன். நீங்க எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
Nalatha Irkare, thank you very much. Listen, Taapsee, I want to take you back to a conversation we had in 2017. Okay, when you told me then that one of the biggest risks you had taken in life was to start saying no to Tamil films where you felt you were being used as a prop. Now, obviously, that risk has paid off, and how? But did you know back then, like, how sure of you were you that that risk would pay off?
Actually, not just Tamil films, it was Tamil and Telugu both.
Yeah.
That was a big risk because my choice was either I should start doing whatever prop kind of character roles that I'm getting, um, just be visible in market alongside big heroes, or I should choose smaller films but more substantial roles. I realized doing those big hero films where I was more or less like a prop or an arm candy was not really making me happy. Like every day I was not happy to wake up and go to work, and hence I decided like to give my happiness my priority over anything else. And I think that risk paid off because whatever I did after that came straight from heart, and I really enjoyed every day at work. The motivation to go to work every day was not to become the top actress or to just have the biggest paycheck. The motivation was every day to have fun at work, really enjoy your work. I think that happiness that I got of going to work every day started reflecting in my work slowly, and hence the whole shift happened. So I think when you really put your all heart and mind into something, it really shows results. I mean, it can vary. The magnitude of the results might vary for each, but it does show result. That's what my journey has taught me.
But did you have a plan B? Because you were still a known actress. There's no two ways about it, especially in the South. You couldn't suddenly go back to doing a job as a computer engineer, na? वो तो नहीं होता.
No, I would have left. My plan B was there. I was ready to leave acting and rather do something which will just give me happiness to go to work. I will not be forcing myself to go to work. I was actually mentally prepared because even though I mean, I don't tell people to have long term planning because you never know what's going to happen with you, and that's what I want to really follow myself as well. But I'm a very plan B person also. Like I'll always prepare a plan B. Maybe it's because of the kind of education background I come from, where you have to have a backup for everything. So I had a plan B that I was like, I'll go back to either studying further, do my MBA, or I'll go back to just like seeing any other career choice or any other industry that will interest me, if not acting. I was open to it. I was like, I don't mind starting from scratch. Maybe something else is meant for me. Maybe I'll just take a break and study for a year or two, and then get into some other field. I had that plan B.
Wow. Talk to me a little bit about working across from Vijay Sethupathi. He seems very unlike your Bollywood hero, at least. So, what was that like?
I think I've had very unlike Bollywood heroes as heroes. If you see the kind of heroes I've worked with, I don't think all of them fall into the conventional category of heroes, right? I've had heroes from Amitabh Bachchan to Vikrant Massey. Neither of them are like presently conventional heroes. So is nor is Vijay. I think he's done a lot of different kinds of cinema in Tamil itself. So he has a fairly wide range of work. And when I got to know that he's agreed to do the film, which was, honestly speaking, a very pleasant surprise, because the film was titled on Annabelle's character. And And Deepak, the director who had come to me with the script, was, very hell bent on having me and not anyone else. He was so hell bent that he was like, "I'll not make the film if you don't do it. I'll not make the script," which was very heartwarming, which is something I yearned to hear for years, especially coming from South, because there I was like easily replaced, and most of the actresses are treated as easily replaceable if for lack of dates, or if you demand higher salary and all those things. So for someone to say that to me, and he actually waited for more than a year, he waited for me to come on board. So that was, and then I got to know that Vijay said yes to doing that part, which was for a very strange, because you don't really come across heroes that often who are ready to play parts in a film which is titled on the woman. So I was very impressed even with before meeting him. And then I went on the set, and of course, I mean, he's a really good actor. He just doesn't believe in doing his job, coming on set and doing his job and leaving. It's more than that for him, because he will work on every scene till the time he feels that it really works for him as well. So that kind of an interest just shows that he is not there to just make money. It means more to him than just like doing sticking to his job and going back and not bothering. So that was my takeaway from working with him.
Yeah. You mentioned playing the titular role, and I wanted, like, when you came to Tamil films with Adukalam in 2010, of course you were a ranked newcomer. How do the rules of engagement change when you go back as one of the highest billed actresses in the country?
Uh, I I think just the perception of people, the way you are, people respond to you, the way people respond to you on set. Uh, the
Meaning?
fact that, like, just the when you are newcomer, obviously you are treated a certain way. I'm not saying it is bad. It is just not like as significant as you are treated when you are someone who brings in certain gravitas to a film. Your dates are valued more. Your time is valued more. uh, all those things come, and then your opinions are valued. I i felt every suggestion that I gave, good or bad, works or no, but was at least considered fairly by the director. He was very keen on knowing how I would do it, or how, if I would want to do this or this way or that way. Or even at scripting stage, there were so many drafts that Deepak worked on basis my feedback as well. So those things didn't happen as much with me in the beginning of my career, because I really didn't know much about films back then. So that has started happening now, and especially for Annabelle. So that is a different experience.
Refreshing that would have been.
Yeah.
But
Very refreshing.
coming to just being in a horror comedy, it's I mean, we've come to kind of associate you with the realism, feminism kind of space, but this is also exciting to watch. Was it fun for you? Did you have fun, or does it get really absurd while shooting? What's the reality?
No, so what what genre you're stepping in. And if I'm gonna just get into only like a particular type of cinema, then I'm typecasting myself. Then I should not be complaining that my audience is typecasting me. As far as my stories are worth telling, worth watching, and my characters are worth taking back home. You just don't like forget them after walking out of the theater. It's worth doing for me. So I'm not really genre bound that way. And if you, I mean, you talked about the other films that I do versus this film. Yes, this film is, first of all, it's not horror comedy. It's actually, for me, I call it fantasy comedy, because it's just really nothing horror in the film, really, apart from the fact that there is the existence of ghosts, but they are like nothing like the ghosts we would think. And this genre has a weird connect with me, I feel, because I've always been opposed to just this genre, but this genre has always attracted me and given me some really big hits. It started from Kanchana 2, where I had actually decided I will not do it. Lawrence, asked me to meet him a couple of times, and every time I was like reluctant. because I was like, I don't think I can do this kind of, the over the top dramatic stuff in this genre. But when I went and met him with the full perception of, like, the story and the genre, and ready to say no, I went there and met him, and that story just bowled me over. So I was like, I don't think I can say. So person who went to say no clearly said yes immediately and came back, and I got my one of my biggest hits in Tamil.
You know, you're clearly at the top of your game right now, and I can very well imagine that the best of scripts are hitting your inbox. And at the face of it, it's obviously easier to pick a language that you know and you speak, which is Hindi. What is it about regional cinema that draws you back or excites you every once in a while, at least?
Every once in a year at least. That I had promised myself when I had started working in Hindi, that every year at least one South film I will do. There have been a year or two I have skipped, not wantingly, but just because I really did not get scripts worth doing. But whenever I have gotten a script worth doing, I have made sure I do it. Somehow I manage it in my calendar with the number of films I do to be able to do one South film, be it Tamil or Telugu or both, if need be, if it's possible. Then both, or you do one, like I did Game Over, which was released in both Tamil and Telugu. So like that, do a bilingual, but
Yeah.
definitely do one. Couple of reasons. One is because this certain kind of gratitude I have towards the industry I began my career in, because I whatever knowledge, professionalism I have gained over years is a lot courtesy the southern industry. So be it by learning from my mistakes, or be it just knowing how to be on a set, or how to know learning and knowing my craft, and those basics ABCs of my work were set by the southern industry. So I have certain gratitude that I would want to pay by working there continuously till the time they would want to offer me work, until the time the audience they wants to see me. I would really want to work there. And the other thing is, like, I really think I'll be stupid to uproot myself from an industry that has so heartwarmingly accepted me right from the beginning itself, the first films itself. So when everything is going fine there, like it's not like the audience doesn't want to see me, or my films have not worked at all. So then why will I uproot myself from there and start in Hindi? That's a very stupid business decision also. So you probably, I consider myself lucky as one of those very few actors who do have certain market value or presence across the country with different languages. Not everybody gets this privilege. So I wouldn't want to give up this wonderful privilege that I have.
Yeah. No, but you do have this privilege. And at the same time, you launched your production house and you chose to call it Outsider Films. How long do you think it's going to be before you feel like you are an insider?
But I don't feel the need of being called an insider. I don't understand why should that be an aspiration at first place. Why being outsider is an uncomfortable word. Why? Like, see, I keep telling people, like, for me, outsider and insider is just a term you give to a
For me,
person
in
basis
my why
background.
I asked is because in my how I read it was the sense of belonging. Do you feel like you belong?
The moment I started getting a snowball effect of roles and films in the film industry, and my films started working, I thought I belong here. I didn't need to be. I didn't feel the need to be called an insider to feel that I belong. I am an belonged outsider, which is a brilliant place to be. I've never seen being an outsider as a anyway lesser than being an insider, because being an insider or outsider doesn't guarantee a success. My audience will make me successful, not being an insider or an outsider. So till now, my films, whatever has worked, is because of the audience, not because the so-called insiders validated it. No, they didn't. They still don't. It's not like I expected also, because I have reached a courtesy my audience, because they went and bought my tickets and my movie tickets, and made it a hit. So I really don't feel the need of being called an insider. Is why I named my production house Outsiders, because I really want people to start seeing this word in positive light. It has been for the longest time shown as a step down. which where you want to step up from. I have never seen it like that. So that's why I want to proudly own this space of being an outsider and present it with all positive light.
Nice. Tell me something about being a producer that you just didn't anticipate. You feel like you'll be good at it, but tell me something you didn't anticipate.
People, it's difficult for me right now immediately to make people believe I've entered this whole world of being a producer, not just for profit sharing, because if I really wanted that, I would have done that as an actor with just one clause in my contract, which I've done before for Anando Brahma in Telugu. I have become a producer to be able to take certain calls, as someone who can take those calls and not being called an intrusive actor. If I'm just an actor and calling certain shots, you called an intrusive actor. So it's better to be taking that position of being a producer who handles on ground production of a film, who is active in putting things together and deciding who is going to do what, very instrumental in doing that, and then ask for what you want and what you don't want.
Mhm.
So it is like it'll take me a little while to make people understand I'm not just a producer in my own films just because I can earn some extra money. It's not for that. I could have done that by being only an actor. So being a producer is more about handling everything on ground when the film is getting made, putting it together from the scratch. uh, so yeah, so these are certain obstacles that I've learned I'm going to face, and I am okay going that extra haul.
When you posted about Annabelle Sethupathi on your Instagram, you captioned it saying, because sometimes one lifetime isn't enough to see it all. But somehow that doesn't seem to be the case with you. I really need to know what is less next on your bucket list. Do you still harbor that dream of one day giving it all up and settling abroad? Because that's something you said in 2015, by the way.
I did. I always thought that 4-5 years is max I'm going to survive in this industry. I've gone on record to say that. And because that was what was told to me, and that is what I felt with the way my films were doing, and the fact that I was not really having fun at work, and really I was not really enjoying what I was doing that much. But now I really don't want to give it up anything, because I don't want to give it up for anything, because now with the number of films I'm doing in a year, I am enjoying every day going on set. Otherwise, I wouldn't have spent this much of time at work. I would have rather kept it, for a lot of other things in life if this was not really making me happy. So yeah, now I really don't know till how long this is going to last. I don't know. I can't put a exact date on calendar today that this is how long I'm going to be here for. I'm going to be here till the time I feel it's working. I want to have a graceful exit whenever that happens. I'm not going to push and force myself into audience's face. I've never wanted to do that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have changed my route when I was working in South. So yeah. So I would want to have a graceful exit. So I'll wait, or I shouldn't say I'll wait. Actually, I'll just work as much as I can, and good work that I can do, and then let the audience decide if they want to see me. And if they don't want to see me, that's the point. I'll again change my path.
I don't think that day is coming anytime soon, Taapsee. I watched a really lovely interview that you did with Nilesh Mishra, in which you said that you are a specialist in making friends. But it makes me curious, as you become a bigger star, how do you go about making friends? Like, when's the last time you made a new friend?
I make friends on every set. I really this is my strategy, you can say, of enjoying my work also. I go on a set. I Once I'm ready, I walk out of my van and I am on set. I go back to my van only to use the loo, or to probably take a nap if I have to. And that's it, or to change. I'm sitting on set the entire day in between shots,
Yeah.
just talking and hanging out with my crew.
When we spoke during Haseen Dilruba, your director Vinil said that you would even nap on the set. So
Yeah, because at that time, where I had to go back to my room, which was 100 meters away from the set, and I was like very lazy to do that. I might as well sleep also here now. So yeah, so that's the way I work. So I make friends on every film set. I end up making new friends every film I working. There might not be like some sets will have one friend or two, some will have 10, but I make friends every film I work in.
That's a lovely way to be. And before I finally let you go, I'm going to go back to that 2017 conversation. When I asked you whether you feel like a star, you said to me then that I will feel like a star the day I can go up to a director, tell him I want to work with him and have him write something for me. So my question to you all these years later is, have you been able to go up to Mani Ratnam or not? Because I know how much you want to work with him.
Actually, to let you on to a small secret, that Mani sir, I've spoken to him. I've very bluntly told him that I want to work with him, and that's been my only aspiration when people ask me which director would you want to work with. And he's been very graceful of offering me something also, which you know, couldn't materialize for some reasons, but we, I mean, I've made it clear, and he's been very kind to revert, saying that yes, we will work in the future together whenever, you know, there is something that we both agree on, and he's been kind that way. I'm hopeful that's going to happen soon. I'm manifesting it in the universe.
And I'm going to end this interview by saying that Taapsee Pannu finally feels like a star then.
Well, I'll wait for a little while till the time I'm there in his film. I think let's just seal with that then.
Done. Thank you so much for chatting with me, and all the best for the film. It's always a treat to see you on screen.
Thank you so much. If you like this video, please subscribe to Film Companion.